The settings I use in Warzone help me dominate day in and day out. And today, I'm going to be sharing you those exact settings. That way, you can take your game from looking like this to looking like this. Let's dive in. The first things we're going to start with are under your controller settings, and it's going to start with controller vibration. My recommendation, as always, is going to make sure that you have this turned off. If you have it turned on, there's a likelihood that when your finger shakes just a little bit, you're gonna miss your shots because that vibration is just a little bit too much for you. Next up, I also recommend if you have a PS5 controller to turn off your trigger effect or haptics on that controller, because that can keep you from hitting your shots when you need to as well. When it comes to your dead zones, hey there, bucko. Have you hit subscribe yet? Because listen, if you're here right now, you're part of the top 20% of the channel. I'd greatly appreciate you hit that subscribe button. You come back later, maybe turn on notifications. Who knows? Just watch the content. You're going to love it here. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. What you need to know is that this is all about your stick drift. If you have a perfectly good controller that doesn't randomly look around in different places, this shouldn't really affect you. But there are a couple of things that you can change that'll still help you quite a bit. So as for stick drift, what you need to know is your right stick and left stick minimum. That means that if I move this up, it's going to take a little bit more for it to actually start moving. So you can see, like, I move my analog stick and you can see it wiggling around right there. But if I turn this off and I do the same for right stick minimum, I can go all the way up. And sometimes, actually, this is a brand new controller, so it doesn't really have that much stick drift, but you can see on the left one right there that it's actually shaking quite a bit. That's what stick drift is. It's randomly moving on its own without you even having to touch the controller. So what you can do is change your left stick to call it 3, change your right stick to call it 3, cut that back on, and it doesn't have the issue at all. It snaps right back to the center. I still have 1 on the left, so we'll move it up to 4, cut it back on, and we're settled. No issues whatsoever. Now, the next thing is that left stick max. I set that to 70 because that means when I push my left analog stick 70%, it's gonna actually hit 100%. You can see this is me pushing it all the way, and it only goes to 70 because it's already at 100% at 70%. But when it comes to your right stick, you definitely wanna keep that at 100 so you have your full range of motion for when it comes to aiming so you can be the most accurate. So when it comes to your sensitivity, this is entirely up to you. But personally, I set my horizontal stick sensitivity to 6 and my vertical to 5. I feel like you move left to right more than you do up and down, so I like to be able to move a little bit faster whenever I'm going that left to right. But I also have on custom sensitivity per zoom. I feel like when you're aiming down sights, you really want to make sure that you can hone in on that enemy, and that comes from lowering the sensitivity for your ADS speed. So I set my low zoom to 0.75, my 2 to 3 times to 0.75, and then it slowly goes up until we're at like sniper zoom, where I need to actually move a little bit faster because otherwise I can't keep up with players that are flying through the sky. Moving back up, I highly recommend you keep your aim response curve type set to dynamic. A lot of people will move it to linear or standard, but dynamic seems to be the best for most players. Of course, keep aim assist on because otherwise you're just going to be missing your shots unnecessarily. Your aim assist type should be set to default. And moving into gameplay settings is where things get a little bit more important to your actual gameplay. Obviously, that's in the title of it. First of all, I highly recommend, unless you're using something like a shotgun, to set your automatic sprint to automatic tactical sprint. This is going to ensure that whenever you start sprinting, you sprint as fast as physically possible whenever it becomes available to you. Slide maintain sprint is also incredibly important because that means when you slide, as soon as you start going, it'll keep sprinting instead of you having to press your sprint button. Personally, I don't recommend having on auto move forward because if you do that, then it could really mess with you trying to get in and out of gunfights. And your tactical sprint behavior is one that a lot of people mess up. Because sprinting is called sprinting in this game, you'd think that you should have it set to single tap sprint to go the fastest as soon as possible. But actually, single tap run will put you in tactical sprint as soon as you start walking, which is actually called running in this game. It's very confusing. Just make sure you have single tap run on instead of single tap sprint, and you'll have it all settled. If you want to make sure you can actually make it through windows, grounded mantle is incredibly important because without it, you'll actually just run into a ton of windows, get stuck at the edge. But if you have this on, you will end up mantling things you don't mean to, but it's definitely worth it to have it on versus having it off, in my opinion, because there was a lot of times when I had this turned off that I'd just run into a window and full stop. Then it's a free kill for your enemy. Moving into slide and dive behavior, this is obviously entirely up to you, but at no point should you have tap to slide or tap to dive on. You should use either slide only or hybrid, in my personal opinion. Hybrid is a little bit harder to use for some people because their brains just don't work that way, and I'm one of those people. Plunging underwater, you should definitely have set to free because if you have it set to trigger, you actually have to press a button to go down. There's a few more things we have on this page that I recommend you change. The first of which is interact/reload behavior. I set set that to prioritize interact. That way I'm ensuring that if I'm running over something, I need to pick something up, I won't start reloading randomly. And you can always press and hold to ensure that you reload whenever you need to. Armor plate behavior, please, for the love of God, make sure that's set to apply all. That way you're not having to individually put in armor plates. I actually have no idea why this is even an option. And finally, I recommend changing your quick C4 detonation to 1 by 1. So if you throw a C4, you can very quickly blow it up. Moving into graphics, these are going to be a little bit different for people on PS5 and Xbox One and Series 1 and that whole shebang. But on PC, we have all the settings, while you may have just a little bit less, but you should be able to still follow along with some of the settings that I do share. As for display mode, I recommend you set that to full screen exclusive. It's going to help you with screen tearing. It's going to make sure that you're using your resources the way that they should properly be used, and a ton of other stuff. So if you have the opportunity, definitely make sure to set that to exclusive. Always make sure that your display resolution is as high as it can be, matching whatever your monitor is. The same goes for your screen refresh rate. Personally, I set my brightness to 57 in game so that I can see personally on my monitor. NVIDIA Reflex is one of those things that is a little bit up to you, because a lot of people will say use on plus boost. A lot of people are going to say use on, but it really depends on your CPU and GPU. I would try it both ways, but one may have an improvement over the other. So make sure to choose the one that works best for you. Ensure that eco mode is set to custom and not efficiency or low consumption, because both of those options are going to make you lose frames. Make sure to turn VSync off. That way you can get all the frames. And as for your custom frame rate limit, what I recommend is setting that custom frame rate to just a little bit above your screen refresh rate. Technically, that means that I should have mine 5 above my refresh rate, which is 160, which is why you can see that I have 165 and 165 on the menu as well. This is going to keep your system from making way too many frames that you just don't need and aren't going to help you in any way whatsoever. Moving into the quality settings, there's a few settings that make a huge difference, and the other ones are mostly up to you and whether or not your system can handle it, but this should give you the best frame rate physically possible while allowing you to see the most around the map. First, your render resolution should be set to, once again, its perfect render resolution, which on mine is 4K, which is 3840 by 2160, or all you have to do is set this number to 100. The most important setting by far that you can have for visual fidelity in your game is Fidelity FX CAS. This is going to allow you to make the game buttery clear and very sharp. So set this right here. You have a bunch of options. It'll probably say Intel XeSS or one of these, maybe even DLSS. Fidelity CAS, turn that on, and then change that to 100% in strength. Your VRAM target should be between 80 and 90. I personally have mine set to 80 because I have a very good graphics card, but if you don't, you could set that to 90 so that you can get a little bit more out of your GPU. For the love of God, turn off NVIDIA DLSS frame generation. That is making up frames that are not real, which means sometimes you're going to be shooting somewhere that an enemy actually isn't. It's just where your computer has generated that player to be. But as for variable rate shading, this one's kind of up to you. I personally keep it off for the sake of my content and making sure that anybody can look at any part of my screen and see it at its full fidelity. But I recommend you turn it on because you're only going to be looking at very specific parts of your screen, most of the time the middle of your screen. So that's going to help your computer render stuff and get more frames per second. When it comes to texture resolution, I do recommend you set this to normal. If your computer can't handle it, you could set it to low or even very low, but most people should be just fine with normal. Another important one is turning off depth of field. This is going to actually blur out a lot of your background if you have this turned on, meaning you could miss things happen in front of you, or you could just not see it at all because it's blurred out. Detail quality, I personally set to high because it doesn't have a huge impact on your system and allows you to see things in a much clearer format. The next thing I recommend is changing your on-demand texture streaming to minimal. Used to, you could turn this off entirely, but it seems like they've taken that option out, but it really doesn't make a huge impact on your system. So setting it to minimal should be absolutely fine, but change your local texture streaming quality to low because it actually does a ton of work on your GPU to make those textures such high quality if you set it to normal. Now, tessellation is another one in these quality settings that can make a huge difference, but some people's systems will treat it differently. If you find that you have textures not loading properly, setting this to all could fix it, and then hop into a game or restart your game with that set to all and then turn it off and restart again, and it may fix some of the things that you have. That's just something that I've run into in me playing and me trying to look at my camos and stuff like that. If you don't have any issue with it, I do recommend setting that to off because that's where I put it, and I think it helps quite a bit with your frames. And finally, under quality, we have water quality itself, which I personally set to water caustics because wave wetness is literally just visual will shine on the edge of a beach. It's completely unnecessary. So just set water caustic so you can see well under the water where light is hitting your targets so that you know when they're moving. Moving into view, these are some big changes that will improve your gameplay a ton. The first of which is field of view, which I always recommend having at least above 100, but I personally set mine to 120, 107, and I think 112 are the sweet spots for a lot of people that came from console or are on console. Similar to depth of field, both of your motion blur settings need to be set to off because quite literally you cannot see anything moving around you if you have either of these set to on. It's absurd. I have no idea what this is an option. I guess it's to make it look like a movie or something like that, but they're completely unnecessary, especially if you're trying to play at an advanced level. The same thing goes for film grain. Basically what happens if you have film grain on, anytime you go into a dark space, it's going to get very blotchy. Another two that directly affect the way you're going to be able to see your enemy is your first person and third person camera shake. Make sure you turn this to least 50%. It's also going to help people that have a lot of vertigo and stuff like that. Moving into audio settings, these are mostly up to you, but it does come down to what kind of headphones you have, whether or not you're on a PlayStation, an Xbox, whether or not you're on a TV. Like everything matters when it comes to audio, and it's actually a very important section, but I can't give you a heads up as to what the best thing is because it literally comes down to the equipment that you have and what you use on a daily basis. So for me, I'm using headphones. They're open back. For audio mix, I personally use Cinema because I feel like that gives me the most surround sound that I can get. I do have my computer tuned by Art is War. If you'd like to know what that means, you can look up Art is War Warzone audio. When it comes to volume, you always want to make sure that your master game volume is set to 100 and your effects are also set to 100. Change whatever volume, the height of the volume on your device itself, because if you change either of these, you lose audio fidelity. So make sure master volume and effects volume are set to 100. The rest of this, entirely up to you. I don't like music while I'm playing, so I turn off word tracks and cinematic. And dialogue, I like to hear when something is announced, like a precision or a UAV or something like that. Or more specifically, a player falling in that usually they tell me way too late. Now, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but I know a lot of people actually turn off proximity chat and they turn voice chat off, but I highly recommend you actually turn that on because it gives you a ton of information about the area which your enemies are. If you didn't know, proximity chat works within 60 meters. If you hear someone, that means they're within 60 meters. That means that you can run toward them, they'll get louder. You run away, they'll get quieter. So you can actually use that to identify the exact area that they're at and get closer and closer until you can get the elimination. So keep both of those on if at all possible. One thing that I know a lot of people actually mess up is turning on mono audio. This used to actually say the wrong thing under the description, so a lot of people turned it on. But if you find that audio makes absolutely zero sense, I would double check that you have this turned on because mono audio basically makes it where your left and your right are the exact same. Someone could be on your right, but you're gonna hear it the exact same loudness in the left ear. Now, moving into interface options, I would recommend moving down to the minimap shape option, and you're gonna start on round. That is a terrible play. I have no idea why it's the default option, but make it square because you can see under the minimap shape, you have circle, which shows a decent amount, and then you have square, which shows that same amount plus like 25 to 40% more, which is a huge advantage over the players that only have a circle minimap. As for crosshairs, I recommend one, always having them set to on, but also having a crosshair dot. That way you know exactly where your bullets are going to fly when you start shooting them, and you can follow that to track your enemies. Center dot may sound like the same thing, but it actually just puts a dot in the smack dab center of your screen, which could be your TV, your monitor, whatever it may be. It's just a dot in the middle, which means it's not actually where you're going to be shooting, which is why I recommend putting on crosshair dot instead. Player names, a lot of people are going to have set to full name, but you don't need to know what your teammate's clan tag is. In fact, they usually take up way too much space. So I always set mine to abbreviated. If you set it to icon, you're never going to know who the teammate is that's beside you. If you're someone who struggles with lagging a lot, I do recommend turning on your telemetry. That's going to allow you to see your FPS, your latency, your packet loss. It's going to see the temperature of your GPU, the GPU time, the GPU clock, the VRAM usage, the whole shebang. Everything you could possibly need. You could also set it to essentials, or you could go to custom, change it to show more, cut off all the things you don't need, cut off the things you do need, like packet loss, server latency, and FPS. And when you don't need it, just turn it back off. Moving under account and network, I highly recommend you scroll to the bottom and find challenges. By default, this is going to be set to on, but you need to turn that off if you're not going specifically for challenges in your game, because it can actually cause lags and cause dev errors, which, to be quite honest, is absurd. On your screen right now, you can see every single setting that I have in the game. If you need to, feel free to slow down the video, set it to 0.25 speed, or even pause in the sections that you need it so that you can copy it. But feel free to change absolutely anything that you desire so that it fits your playstyle more than my own. Now, a lot of people are going to leave the second they saw all those screenshots or even the beginning of that, but I do need to showcase you exactly what it's like playing on these settings so that you know what you're going to be getting yourself into. First of all, got a guy landing on me. Hey, big man. We're gonna mute that real quick. I'm gonna toss this right here because I need to know where that guy's at. It seems like he's down below and he's dead. All right, so that was the guy that was yelling at me. But the one thing I want to say is, as you can see on your screen right now, I do have a controller cam. I buy my controllers from aimcontrollers.com. In fact, I do have a partnership with Aim Controllers, which, you know, we had been on hold for quite a while, and I think we might make a comeback. But if you use my code, you can still get some percentage off on your stuff. So if you want to go to expel.gg/aim, then you can actually get a controller with a huge discount, up to 30% off, depending upon how expensive your controller is. That guy looks like he's wanting some of it. But I do have on the bottom of this controller little paddles and stuff, and I use the right bottom one for jumping and the right bottom one for jumping, the left bottom one for sliding. And I will note, I still haven't mastered using the top buttons. I've always been like a two paddle person. Is that a weird thing to say? But I've always been a two paddle person. So that is why I play the way that I do. I just realized I have a most wanted and I could just chill up top. I think that's what I'm gonna do, actually. There's a guy that just dropped down. I don't know where the other guys went, but either way, I will put a screenshot on screen right now with the exact setup of my controllers so that if you want to copy it, you can do that. Or you can have literally the exact same controller as me. I will say it is not cheap, obviously, because these are like very, very expensive controllers at times, depending upon what you do it with, but they have great deals on their website so that you can get huge discounts and stuff like that. So obviously completely up to you. This is not technically a sponsored video, but I do get a kickback if you buy a controller. So entirely up to you. Oh my God, no, 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 no. What are you little freaky boys doing?
Most wanted contract closed. Supply drops inbound.
Nice. Nice.
Intel shows a bunker nearby. Eyes up, you hear? You got a loadout drop inbound.
All right, so we're gonna be using the Superior and the DTIR. I don't know if this is open yet. It's not. There's a guy in the window right here. That guy's probably so confused as to what just happened to him. You can see right now, like the high fidelity that my gameplay is. Obviously, I'm playing on 4K, which is going to be a little bit different than what you all have. But I get incredible ping, really. I mean, it used to be a little bit different because Call of Duty had more servers. I can't even show you the ping off rip, but got a guy going in. Is he going in? He is. And what I know is that he's running straight through. Yep. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. I'm gonna take him booties. The reason I knew that he was running straight through is because until you go all the way down, it doesn't pop the side over there with the launcher, basically. Oh, no. That means the third one's gonna be that, too.
Remaining safe zone locations intel is marked.
Bet, watch. Yeah, I've literally... Dude, I've never gotten that to be something other than a... This is probably the worst idea right now. Let's grab the cash. I've never gotten that to be anything other than a foresight after getting 2 other foresights. Can I have my gun? Thank you. Is that a guy? No. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm like dumb. Look, man, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, son. Come here, old boy. That's Cloud9 again, isn't it? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that little goober was gonna come back down, back on down here.
On the way.
Is there a guy above me? Look at that.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Keep your eyes up for progress.
Dang, Sweaty Eddie got taken down, son. Sweaty Eddie got taken down. Yeah, but the servers on Call of Duty got a downgrade because we're so close to Black Ops 6. So that's why my ping isn't all that great. I usually check right there. Yeah, I got 15 ping. That's not bad, actually. What was this dude doing? 15 ping. What time is it? I'm recording this as of 2:45 p.m. So it's before everybody's out of work. So that means most likely we're going to get lobbies there a little bit easier. Let me get a reload on this before I ego. I am recording, right? Yeah. Okay. Just checking in. Just checking in. I'm going to go back to the right. I'm still getting... I'm getting some kind of packet loss. You see this guy?
Gas is inbound. Enemy soldier incoming.
Dang, bud. Herbie! Herbie's that you, old feller? Cut on that mic, feller. Cut on that mic, Herbie. What you doing? All right, well, thanks for being here. Hope you have a great day. I tried. I did try. You're probably gonna be in that window over there somewhere. Damn. I mean, I don't even know what to say. God bless, this gun's crazy. Somebody was shooting at me, but I don't know from where it had came. Let's go down here, log it in. Hey everybody, hope you're having a swell day. Thanks for spectating me today, everybody. We're gonna go over to the other one, the other bunker over here, so I can try and get specialists without paying for it. I'm gonna mark that real quick. That is real because they haven't opened that yet. I'm just gonna go underneath, and then if they want to ego it, they can. Oh, I gotta go right there. I'm stupid. And we're under. Let me get a nice little neck pop right there. Ooh!
Enemies dropping into the AO.
Probably coming in behind me, to be quite honest. Nope. Okay. God, that sucks so bad.
Remaining safe zone locations intel is marked on your TAC map.
What a goober. What a goober. Did you see that claymore in the wall? I didn't hit anything. I didn't even hit the claymore. Someone just left the game whose name was Jambalaya Queen, and I respect that. I respect that so freaking much, dude. Oh, I need to get my hand in the right spot. That way y'all can see the controller so well.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Yo, big man. I'll give you a redeploy. I got an extra redeploy on me. You want it?
They're having increased payouts. Get to them first to
I
cash
said,
out.
do you want it? I said. Oh no, okay.
Watch this. Closing in.
Oh, I'm dead.
Evade and
Insane, dude. No, come on, man. I'm not giving that man that. I'm not giving that to that man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would just piss me off. That guy's camped up my loadout. I can't make that up. He's literally edge circle camping my loadout. Do I come back with a smoke at the very least? If I come back with a smoke, I can get my stuff. That's so annoying that I'm getting shot by that dude, the dude up top, and that dude down below, and I just ran out of ammo on both guns, and it didn't reload when I tried to reload, which is insane! Good bunker, big man. Payback's crazy, dog. Payback's crazy, ain't it? Ain't that crazy? How'd that work? Go ahead, get up. Wild. Wild how that happens, huh? See, it's not reloading. It's getting like halfway and then I'm hitting something like an absolute goober. Both guns reloaded. We got everything in our inventory that we had before. Oh my god.
be advised. Marked up all safe zone locations on your TAC map.
You've got to be kidding. You have literally got to be kidding. Can't make that up. Cannot make that up. Insane. Insane. I died to the claymore that my bunker buster should have blown up. That's honestly, dude, I live for it. Truthfully. Look at that guy right there. Well, are y'all working together right now?
You got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Seriously?
High value contracts are in play. More risk, more reward.
Brother. They started fighting after the fact. They were 2 feet from each other and just didn't want to fight. Don't do it. Where you camp, big dog? Where you camped up, bro? Oh, that's him. That's him literally right there. Yeah. All right, well, that's fine. We move forward. I died in some of the dumbest ways I think I've ever seen. And I lost my boots is really the upsetting thing. Nope, not hitting that. Okay.
Loadout drop headed your way.
Come on. Got a launcher over here. Got a guy on the left over there. Lord have mercy. I cannot believe that I died to that claymore when I was on the left-hand side. So goofy. I don't know if I would have made it out of there, to be quite honest. Maybe I would have, had I not ran directly into that, but it is what it is, my boy. Okay, didn't mean to do that, but maybe I can make it in this window here. Yep. He's middle floor as well, it looks like. He is. He's middle back is what he is right now. Not a sniper, dude. You can pick it right there.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
All right. We can play this game, I guess.
You got a loadout drop inbound.
By the way, this gun has mono rounds on it, so it should just shoot through walls. That may have been the scariest moment of my entire life right there. What the hell was that? What the hell is that?
Move it.
Oh, we need this. I will take that. I'm gonna take the stealth. We're gonna drop that. Were there more plates? Yeah.
Into the AO.
Don't get sniped. Obviously, that's the goal, but, you know, happens to the best of us. I gotta get the cross here. What is this circle? Oh, okay. Not a bad circle, actually, because this leaves a nice little spot to hide up top. My nervousness is maybe I position myself poorly if I don't play my cards right here. Oh, I'm dead.
Good try.
Hey, Cloud. Buddy, I already killed you twice.
Expel. Yeah, you did, but I'm still here, bitch.
Don't call me that. That's rude.
You're in the
You're a bitch.
Hold on to that, big boy.
Ask your mother. She remembers me.
She remembers you. Were you that kid she had to help in middle school that pissed his pants?
No, I'm the one who came in her butt.
That's kind of crazy out of you. Sucks to suck, dog.
Gas is moving.
What the hell? Is this real? Has that been like that all the time, or did that just break? Interesting. What up, Ragnar? How we doing, baby? Six players left right now.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone
There's a guy
relocated.
obviously underneath me. Okay, I got sniped, which is interesting, but I don't see the guy that sniped me, which kind of sucks.
Prize contracts. You'll earn more buck for your bang.
Nope.
You got gas moving in. You have a buy station inbound.
I'm thinking I probably play selfies like a mother.
Deployable buy stations ready.
Got him. Okay.
Gas
Not hitting that.
in. Get to the new safe zone.
Oh, he had a gas mask.
Gas is closing in.
All right, we're good. Let's make the cross. Killed one. There's a whole lot of people over here. It's not going to be helpful, to be quite honest.
Shot.
My kill, boy. My kill. It's mine. You can't have it.
Our Guardian's lost power.
Thinking.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Come on.
Finish your mission. Take them down.
Hold on. Wait, it doesn't open it anymore? Oh my god. Alright, fine. Play that game. GG's, homie. Jeez, Lou. What's up, big man? Woo! What's good, baby? Welcome to the party! Woo! Oh my god, I was 1 HP, dude. Yo, thanks for being here. I hope you have an incredible day, and I hope these settings were very helpful for you. Let's watch this guy get slammed one more time. One more time.
They have a chair.
Oh my god! Slammed! Slammed! Come on in, jam. You better subscribe, you son of a gun.